Hello? Hello? I'm here. I made it. Okay, let me get stuff set up. Up. Yep, it's working. Woohoo. All right, let me make sure I got chat for everybody and that I can see everybody's chats. Oh, why did you do that? Oh, okay. Good. Woo! Ready to go. All right, so because I always start at random times, while I am waiting, I'm going to start this little list for myself. Oh, hi, Tarot Gothams! Thanks for being here. Hi, Judy! Thanks for being here. I'm just starting our list. I'm just starting our list. Oh, I don't like that. I want it to be thinner. How's everybody doing? So we need to first talk about our vibration from last week. And especially because these vibrations are definitely going to be coming up today. I already see it. Well, because it came up last week too, even before we spun our wheel. And then I want to talk about, what should I call it? I guess we'll call it hip hop bookcase. Just so I don't forget that I need to talk about this. Oh, hi, Alex. Thanks for being here. It's good to see ya. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's Saturday. It's the weekend. The hardest part is like, getting out of my pajamas. No, my pajamas are not under here. I did get out of them today. Hi, Josh. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Okay, so we got our vibration from last week. We've got this really quick hip hop bookcase thing. And then of course, our main focus for today is to talk about Baby Keem's Casino album. Woohoo! Hi, Cousin B! Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Is there anything else I should put on this list? I mean, this is gonna give us a pretty full live, but we can add something if it's absolutely necessary. But also, you already know that other topics and other things are gonna just vibrationally flow into the conversation anyway. Mm-mm. I almost choked. Almost swallowed weird. That was that weird sound. Not a song this time. Ooh, goodness. Okay. Make sure. Got it. Okay, everything's good. Everything's good. Yeah, yeah. I thought so. Um, so that, what was it again? It was, I have to like forget numbers or else I have too many in my brain at one time. But I know we had the two zeros and then the eight, and then it was started with a six. That's right. 623. Yeah, so we'll put that here because I'm sure some of that's going to come up. And even just as I was like looking over my things that I've written this week, um even what we've talked about, like what we were talking about yesterday, as far as like the astrology that's happening right now, you can see those vibrations in this rollout and in this album as well. Oh, speaking of which, we can start with that. That doesn't even need to be on the list. And then I'll do 975. But I wanted to bring to everybody's attention that next week, so I think it's Thursday, it's February 26th until March 20th is when we have our next Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde. And this one is in Gemini. And anything in Gemini, any energy, any planets in Gemini, energy coming from Gemini, seem to really impact hip hop and the hip hop space. Probably just because Gemini is that energy of communication. It is telling the story. That is what Gemini energy is. So Mercury retrograde starts next week. It goes for usually about 3 weeks. Anybody that releases any music in this time period may have trouble communicating and like getting the word out there, because this is full of like miscommunication is what this is, and it's on a individual level, so each person will experience Mercury retrograde in a different way. Hi, Bridget. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Welcome. So, yes, Alex. So people usually associate Mercury with electronics, but it's actually with communication. So it's your technical communication that you need to watch. So any of like the communication tech, so phones, computers, that's what you really want to watch. But especially like for even like for your computers, anywhere where you're chatting, anywhere where you're like sending emails, any of like your online meetings, that's where you'll see problems with Mercury. Um yeah. Yep. So anywhere where there's communication, yep, that's exactly what we would expect to see. Any kind of streams glitching, so we'll have to definitely watch it for next week when we're here together on Friday and Saturday right after Mercury retrograde starts. The planet that is most strongly associated with technology is actually Uranus or Uranus, if you want a good giggle. Um, it's associated with technology and innovation and unexpected changes. So when we're going to see in July, we'll see some movement of Uranus into actually Gemini. And that's where we got to watch all technology. And that actually, I'll have to go and look and see, because there is another Mercury retrograde in that June, July area. So hopefully they don't overlap. That might be a doozy time, but I'll look and keep us keep us ready for that one. But here in the hip hop space, it'll be interesting to see anybody that this is going to be a prime 3 weeks for miscommunication. Especially if you're putting out any kind of projects, any kind of music. So let's look at our vibration from last week. So anybody that has not um heard this, well, and it's a good reminder for us all, is that every week on Saturdays, we spin that little wheel that's up there in the corner, and we get a random number. And we use that random number to look for vibrations throughout our week so that we can get used to seeing these vibrations that we're interacting with. Because once we're aware of them, then we can start using that energy for what we want to use it for. And so we have 975 was the vibration that we had last week to be looking for. When we add these digits up, we get 21, which then goes to 3. But the main themes are here within these combinations. So 97, we already talked about last week, is a very big energy right now. This goes to 16. But also, what was coming up this week, at least from what I saw, was 75 was doing some stuff too. Bringing on that change in perspective. So when we are seeing these numbers, we write them like we would typically write, where we write from left to right. But when we're reading the vibrations, we read them in the opposite direction, so right to left. So the first step in this vibrational story is 5, which is all about change. And then we go on to step 2, which is the 7, and it's about, I need a different color. Here we go. And 7 is all about action, but in vibrational flow. Meaning that it's happening at the right time and in the right way so that it's not like big effort. It's not forceful. And then we would get to the 9, which is our energy of ending or shifting. So this vibrational story is talking about a change that happened that pushed forward for a action to be taken, but to be taken in vibrational flow so that an ending could come. This ending needed to come so that we could eventually get to growth. So let's see where this vibration pops up as we are talking today. All right, let me see what's going on in the chat. Oh, hi, Rumble! It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Oh, yes, Bridget. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Where, yeah, Archangel Michael is the energy and vibration from the archangels that is the guardian of electronics. So you could absolutely tap into that energy as well and use that. Thank you. Mm. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm going to put I'll put those numbers down also, Judy, just so we have them. Oh, again, February 26th to March 20th is Mercury retrograde. Be aware so you can be intentional. That is all. Good night. So we did this one. And then let's see. Judy said, "Oh yeah, it was very interesting to see that the watch party for Baby King's casino was 1 hour and 11 minutes exactly." Um, oh, and it's at what are the views? 688. Of course it is 100. Where this 88 has been coming up a whole lot. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let me get this hip hop bookcase thing out of my brain so it can leave me alone. And then we'll have all the time we need to dig into Baby Keem. And just so everybody knows, I do some of the lyrics breakdown. I do some of well, I do a lot of like the title and that. What we focus on in here is the vibrational story that's being told with the title that is used, the people that are on here on the album, and some of the lyrics that are used, to be able to look at the vibrational story that is being told. Because the vibrational story is like the undercurrent of any of these music, anything really that happens in life, because we have these vibrations that are in exchanged between people in a number of different ways. So I just want to preface that. So we're not even though I've listened to the album multiple times and will continue to listen to it, we won't listen to that in here in that way. We're gonna look at the vibrations, but I do encourage everybody to stay for the discussion and think about what you've heard and how each of the songs have made you feel, and also what you're getting from the other reactors, because that'll actually help. Okay, so we've had, let me find my little notes here. This was in my head for so long this week because we keep having this discussion. We looked at the word disdain yesterday, but we keep having these discussions about going back and like looking at an artist's work previously and like what happens when we've matured out of some of these artists' projects. And so the way that I like to think about it is that, well, and we know this is how it is, that each of us has a set of stories and experiences that have gone into making us who we are. And we use those different stories to be able to communicate out to the world, but also to connect with the world outside of us, and for the world and other people to connect with us. This is the same thing for any group of people, any culture, any country, anything that's energy, which is everything, will have a set of vibrational stories. And so for hip hop, we can think of it as a bookcase. And so when hip hop was young, it had one shelf of a bookcase. And on this bookcase, because you know, when it's like a baby, it's a little kid, you just have a little bookcase where they can actually reach the books, and you have mostly picture books and that type of thing. And so it has all of its different books on this shelf. Each of these books can be a song, it can be an album, it's a story that's being told. The actual artist would be the same as like an author of that book. As hip hop matures, and this is the same for us also, we get more shelves on our bookcase. So here we go. We get more shelves on our bookcase. We get more books on our bookcase, and we get different books on our bookcase. So now, if you think about this bookcase, it's just holding any of these stories that we've encountered, any of the stories that are contributing to the growth and the maturing of hip hop. And we can have on this bookshelf um, nonfiction stories. We can have fiction stories. We can have comedy stories. We can have horror stories, sci-fi stories, and they all can be right there together. Oh, hi, LTFM. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. And so in this hip hop bookcase, we have all of these different stories that are being told that are sitting right next to each other. Yes, of course, drama. Of course, drama's on the hip hop bookcase. But to be thinking about it, that as hip hop is maturing, then the books that are part of this bookcase, so the artists that are part of it, that are contributing to it, and the work that they are producing to put on this bookcase are also maturing and changing. So when we get to a point where we have all of these books and we're at this top shelf and we're starting to fill in these books, if we are at a point, so if we take it back to us, if we're at a point in our mature life where we no longer are looking at the picture books on our first shelf, maybe we're only looking at them for nostalgia, that's okay. They're still part of our story, they're still part of the bookshelf. But we can also have where it's like, oh, this was my favorite book, and this favorite book you read throughout your time. So it doesn't matter that you were first introduced to it when you were less mature. It can travel with you through your maturity. It's still part of the bookcase. Whether it travels with you or not, it doesn't change that it's part of that. That it has contributed a story, that has contributed experiences and lessons to make hip hop or us who we are or what it is. And so that's taking in these discussions about looking back at music and at artists and trying to critique or judge or look at past artists and music from a different level of maturity, it's just gonna look different. But the book doesn't change. It's not like we rewrote Dr. Seuss because it's sitting next to the Bible now. Maybe the Bible is just what we want to read. So I just had to get those thoughts out of my head because it was bothering me. And I wanted to, let me go grab this image so I don't have to draw it. But it was also reminding me of these discussions that we've been having around like a really important time that's coming for hip hop. Let me grab this. So soon, hip hop is reaching a new vibrational level of maturity. Oh, hi, Eva. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you could make it. So when we think about vibrations, this is the little chart that we use. It comes from a type of numerology. And what this shows us is that as we, as individuals, groups, cultures, countries, everything uses this same vibrational pattern. That you go from from birth here, all the way to 27 is considered this youth square. This is where you are building up experiences to be able to build your identity. This is when you're taking all of your experiences in. And so, like we were just talking about with hip hop, hip hop was taking in its experiences, and it was reflected in the stories that were being told to build its identity. Then from 27 all the way over here to 54 is when you're in this power square. And in this power square is where you are strengthening your identity. And the strengthening of your identity comes from tests, trials, and tribulations. So all of these tests of your identity, like really pushing, who are you? Is this who you are? Does your reaction to this experience say who you are? And so in this power square is now where you are building up this strength of your identity. You're strengthening who you are. And part of that is right over here from about age 50 to like 52, 53 is when you have a Chiron return. This is when your eternal wounds are open. So when your biggest wounds are open, this is one of your biggest tests and trials that you have to go through to strengthen your identity. So hip hop is here right now. It is on this end point of Chiron return, and it's headed into going into this wisdom phase. Hip hop will turn 54 in 2027. So where hip hop is right now, where it is shifting from power, strengthening its identity, to wisdom. And in wisdom is where you are now teaching others and sharing your identity to create legacy. This is legacy building. And so some of what I think, I can't spell, some of what I think we're seeing in these conversations is definitely, it's preparing hip hop and the hip hop space for this shift. So all of this talk about shifting and the energy shifting, I think it's really what we're feeling here, and what we're witnessing. That now, not just any story will do, not just any level of hip hop representation will actually do. It has to be those pieces of the legacy moving into wisdom. Those are the pieces that must be most represented in this wisdom phase. So if hip hop or anybody moves into this wisdom phase where they have not strengthened their identity, so their identity is still kind of weak, that probably means they haven't built their identity very strongly. And so then they start creating this very weak legacy when they're in this wisdom, We don't want that. We don't, hip hop does not want that for itself. And so we should expect to see a falling away of any parts of this hip hop identity that are not strong in legacy, not strong in this legacy energy. So I think that's where a lot of these discussions about these past contributions and where they fit and how are they different or the same for where we are now is really coming into play. It's just another part of this shift that we're seeing. Okay. Okay. Now I for real I think got it out of my head. I just needed to get it out of my head because it kept bothering me. All right. So that's hip hop bookcase. I think I saw some other numbers come up. So let me go and grab those and check chat. And then we'll start jumping into the vibrations of this Baby Keem um, album. All right, let me see. Let me see. What you guys up to in the chat? Okay, LTFM. Are these dates? Two more dates you want to look at? 7/17/17 and 4/13/17. Oh, 17. Okay. That was the best example I could think of, Judy. Like, you can have a bookcase that has Dr. Seuss sitting next to the Bible. And you really don't judge each other by it. They both have different stories to tell. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, okay, Rumpel. I'm gonna let you have that one. Oh, funny. You guys crack me up. Okay. Oh, okay. So the words also are the acronyms. All right, so let me make sure we have those in here too. So ask, and then buy, and we'll look again here at the difference between 3 and E, just so you can see that vibrational difference. Because I know that's important for you. Okay. Oh, hi, Mom. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. All right. So now for Baby Keem. Man, oh man. I I haven't been stressing, but I've been thinking a lot about where to even start. So I think what we should do is write down I'm going to write down all the different vibrations that I think are important. You can let me know if I missed anything or if there's any additional ones that you want me to include. And then we'll just go through them. Because what so I guess I'll start first by before I start this list is that typically what we look at in here to look at the vibrational story is we look at the artist's name, the life path number of the artist, and then we look at the vibration of the album title and of the tracks, because that's where the kind of undercurrent vibrational story lives. But we also talked about a couple weeks ago when J. Cole's album came out about how the vibrations weave and move and come together to give you a whole vibrational feeling. And something that is happening around this Baby Keem album is we have these additional outside vibrations that are really changing how the vibrations are moving and weaving together. So that's one big difference that I'm seeing when I look at this vibrational story. That yes, at the core of it, it is Baby Keem. It is his story to be told. It's his album. That's his art, his creation. But we have, it's very clear, and we see that in some of like the documentary that he gave us, that outside influences of his family and his family environment have been very influential. And we know that Kendrick Lamar is part of that outside family. And so his energy runs very strongly through this album as well. So when we're thinking about what vibrations we need to look at, we need to look at both what's happening internally that we would typically look at, but also think about and look at these outside influences also. Because there's hip hop especially, where there's always these outside influences that are impacting the stories that are being told. But there are some albums where it just is super strong. And I do think part of that is also the energy that's just around. So it's the year vibration that we're in, it's what's happening astrologically, it's all of that. So we'll think about those things as well. So I said all that so that we could have two lists where it's like the inside vibrations and the outside vibrations. And I just thought about this, LT. We just looked at that, didn't we? I didn't even think about that till I wrote it down. That yesterday we did look at the difference between inside and outside for LT's date that he gave. So always coming back around. These vibrations are always woven together. But let's think about it in those two ways. So inside, we definitely will have Baby Keem's artist name vibration and life path number. We also will have just the general vibration of Casino and like the title for all the tracks. So the track list is all inside. Outside, and this is where you all can help me add in. We can probably put all the Boo Man documentaries here on the outside because it's outside influences that impacted him and shaped him. And those vibrations would be seen coming from outside. So Boo Man 1, 2, and 3. Whoops, 3. Um, and then also, I always go back and forth where features sit. So features usually are inside, but I think really Kendrick Lamar is here on the line because, of course, he's not going to be in one box or the other. Where he's both an outside influence throughout the album, and so that vibration needs to count. But also, he's a feature and is part of the inside vibrations that are at the core of this album. What else? What else should we add here? While you all are thinking, I'm going to put in a different color here some of the astrological things that are happening, because those are going to be big outside influences. So we have 2025, which was a 9-year, over to 2026. We also are still in this energy of this Saturn Neptune conjunction, which is very influential. We just had a new moon eclipse. So these are the things I'm going to keep in mind also and see where they come up. We also have that Uranus sextile. Okay. All right. Let me get some water and see what you got. Booga ooga. Yeah, that's. I actually like the booga ooga, and I like the hoo hoo. I keep walking around saying hoo hoo. So we can put that on the inside. Which track was that on? Was that good? No, that was that House Money? Yeah, that was funny. Okay. Oh, that almost really hurt. Almost hit myself with my own water bottle. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's start with these inside influences, you think? Or should we start with the documentary? You all tell me. You want to start with the documentary or you want to jump right into the album? While you're doing that, I'm going to go grab the track list so I don't have to write it all out. Because we know that would take forever, especially because my spelling is horrendous. So interesting. Um, while you're letting me know where we're starting, inside or outside. That still cracks me up. Inside or outside. while I'm looking at these vibrations, it's really kind of cool. I'm going to see if I can draw it to share it with you. So it's like if this is the container of the album. Wow, that's a really good circle. You see that? I don't think I've ever drawn a circle that good. So if this is the container of this album, what the weaving looks like is it's like it's got very strong weaving like throughout with a lot of different vibrations, which actually makes it super strong. It's so cool. It looks like this. Like this is actually how the vibrations are moving and weaving um in this album. It's really kind of cool. And but then it's like it has these things that are coming from like these weavings that go inside and outside of this album. That's like the outside thing. So it's kind of cool. I did find those shapes yesterday and I was going to go use them if my circle was horrible. But then I drew a good circle. Go figure. Yeah, that was a good one too. That was a good one too. All right. So, am I making an executive decision of where we're starting? Even though I didn't know where to start. So I asked you. All right. I will channel the Saturn energy and take responsibility. It's in my Capricorn sun mind nature. So let's start looking at Boo Man because that we can look at that energy first because that's kind of what's happening outside, and then as we're looking at what's happening inside, we can connect it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, Judy. The universe always says, you know what you're doing. Just be confident and do it. It's just rude. All right, so let's look at the vibrations of. Well, and we know that Boo Man is a family nickname. The nickname that he had as a youngster. And we also saw in these documentaries that it was really, oh my gosh, let me go find that picture again. Um, that we were being shown most of the images because he's not very old. Oh my gosh, where is it? Here we go. So if we use this again, we oh my gosh. I love when I use a lot of colors, but until I run out of colors. And then I don't know what color to use. So most of what we saw in the documentaries were right here in his building of identity. So these are a time of these first core experiences, these first experiences that are adding to your core. And so if you think about it, where we have, let's see, which way should I go? Let's go down. So if we have these core vibrations, so we have these vibrations that make up the energy of who we are. So we have these core vibrations. When we look at this divine triangle, here in the middle, these are our core vibrations. These are like the vibrations that come from our astrology, like our natal astrology when we're born. It comes from the names that we are given, but also called. So, Boo Man would be part of that core vibration. Also, this would include any of your numerology vibrations. So your life path number would be part of this core. And so if we have this core, and then like a tree, it could be like but on here it's like every 9 years. So every 9 years, so here's this first set of 9 years, we're adding experiences that are interacting with our core and adding to our identity. This is what we're doing when we're building our identity. So this could be the first 9 years, so from 0 to 9 years of age. This is the vibrational piece that we're actually seeing and getting to experience when we look at the Boo Man documentaries. We're getting to see some of these first core moments, because this goes all the way up to age 9 and all the way through Boo Man 3. I think the oldest he was, not when we were looking at the future, but the oldest he was like 5. But then we also are getting to see it's actually this space right across from here, because this is 18. So this is 18 to 27. So when we're seeing the split screen, a lot of the times we're seeing this mirroring, this juxtaposition between his experience and someone else's experience, or two different experiences. But also we're seeing it a lot with his age. So we're seeing this from birth until age 9. I don't know what that box is. And it's how it is set next to this age here of 18 to 27. And this is actually a very critical point for this album to come out, because it's not overlapping this transitional period. So because it came out before he was 27, it means he can go into this transitional period where he's moving from youth into power. So where his identity begins to be tested, already establishing who he is. So with his first 2 albums and with this documentary, that's him showing you who he is. It's establishing and building that identity before he's moving into this power square. So I thought that was pretty interesting, that we're really only getting those 2 pieces of this vibration through this documentary. So then if we use our little key where A equals 1 all the way to Z equaling 26 in the English alphabet, then we can look at Boo Man, and this would be 2 plus 15 plus 15 plus 13 plus 1 plus 14. And this actually adds up to 60. And so, just with this name, what it is pulling through is that we have this energy, this 60 of God, universe. And so the first step, so as Boo Man, as he's growing up and he's showing us this progression, these addition of these experiences that are adding to his identity, that are contributing to his vibration, his vibrational core. The first thing that he needed to be aware of, the very first lessons that he was to learn about these energies and vibrations that we have no control over. So 0 is this vibration of God, the universe, a higher power, and not having control. A lot of times what I've seen is that people that have a 0 in this position, for their name, also for their life path number, they have some very, I don't know what word to use, but like impactful, because like all of our experiences are impactful to us just in different ways. But because the first lesson here vibrationally is to learn about and understand a higher power and how to be all right with being out of control, um, those energies can really come about from some really hard, painful experiences. Just to let you know, Kendrick Lamar, and we know that this is just his artist name, it's not his whole name, but Kendrick Lamar also has this 0. And so this is already showing us that there's this energy of needing to find an understanding of higher power, of this higher power that is not in your control. And when you're a child, you're not in control of any of that. And so that's why some of these events are really impactful. By understanding and learning about this higher power that is outside of our control, then it is establishing comfort zones, because that's what this 6 is. But this is comfort and comfort zones of all kinds. So a lot of the times, people that have this 60 vibration are able to make people feel very comfortable. These are people that you feel very comfortable with, but they also shake up your comfort zones, where they can point out when there are things that you should not be comfortable with, like how you treat your child, like, but it is what it is. But they bring that up and point that out, and it's just vibrationally. They don't even have to do it in a way that would make you feel uncomfortable. But also, these are people that are able to learn very impactful lessons pretty easily, because they understand the vibrational nature of comfort. understanding that it's when you are most uncomfortable that you actually learn your biggest lessons is pretty kind of a cool superpower. So then that means that each one of these documentary slices now become 61, 62, and 63. So we get this progression. Okay, let me catch up in chat. Oh, that's funny. Why is Murphy's Law coming up so much? Oh, Josh, you got in trouble again. It was a good one. Oh yeah. Yep. Yep, you're right, Judy. My life path number is 60. Yep. So isn't that interesting? That's a tie-in. Um so then what this is showing is that at each one of these pieces of the documentary, there's a different first step. So where we have this first one, the first energy that's coming in to challenge this comfort, but also to build this comfort. So we build comfort with somebody as we get to know them. Oh, hi, Dad. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So we build comfort with somebody. Okay, cool. Um, we build comfort with somebody when we get to know them. So it's interesting that right here we have this energy of this new energy coming in. So it's new pieces of information. It's this excitement around, oh, here's a new album that's beginning to start. That's going to be coming out. And we're learning new things about Boo Man, who is Baby Keem's younger self, and how that contributes to the comfort of what our comfort level with learning about who he is, but also our comfort level in being witness to his experiences. Then for the second one, we'll just stay with this color. We have the two here, where now this is ending a division or dualism. And this, I think, really came across in the two positions. So you had LA or Las Vegas. Ew, I don't like that. I'm just gonna write Vegas. So this division or split between worlds, these two different worlds that were contributing to his experience. Oh, hi, Tasha. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. And then we get to the third one, which came out hours before the album came out. But this three is the vibration of growth. And that's where we saw a lot of this juxtaposition between his younger self and the experiences that made him who he was, and his older self, and who he became, who he grew into. I wanted to also look at this. where when we look at the album itself, so after we had these three pieces of this documentary, then we actually had the album itself. And again, if we use our little code up here where A is 1 all the way to Z equals 26, Casino actually adds up to 61 also. So we talked about where, especially in this first Boo Man documentary, where there were all these portals being made, where we had it both start and end with this August 3rd 02 date. So portals were being created here. We also saw portals being created mostly on this third one, but actually throughout, wherever we had like the past sitting next to itself, that's creating a portal space. But even in the release of these, just the vibrations behind it. So Boo Man 1 is 61, Boo Man 2 is 62, Boo Man 3 is 63, and then Casino itself is 61. So here we have this portal being created where when we have any vibration that's on either end that is the same, they want to be near each other, so they're drawing into each other and they're creating this portal. And so this portal is being created, and it is bringing forth this 62 and 63, where when we add this up, 62 plus 63 equals 125. 125 is the numerical vibration of the word spiritual. It also is the phrase, I love you. But it's this spiritual one that is coming through very strongly. This vibration of spiritual. So by having this Boo Man vibration in these three pieces, and then Casino, and having Boo Man 1 and Casino have the same vibration, it's creating this portal that's bringing forth something that feels spiritual. We also can see that if we add these up, so 1 plus 2 plus 5 gives us 8, which is the energy of reap what you sow, or karma. So it's bringing forth some very spiritual energy just from how it was set up vibrationally. Then this leads in, and this is why I didn't know where to start. This is why I didn't know where to start. Because then when we look at Baby Keem's name, so Baby Keem's name, if we use again our code where A is 1 all the way to Z equals 26, Baby Keem adds up to 64. We'll get to his life path number in just a minute. But then if we take this 64, so here's this 6 again. Lots of 6s here. And we take casino, because this is typically what we look at. We look at the artist's name and life path number along with the vibrations of the title of the album. So Casino is 61. But if we add this up, we again have 125. This vibration of spiritual. So a whole lot of sixes. It's a whole lot of building comfort, but also challenging comfort zones in a number of different ways. And it's coming through as this very spiritual vibration. Yeah. I couldn't wait to share this with you because it was crazy. Because it was actually super crazy. But of course, there's more. So then, if we look at, we'll get to his life path number here in a minute. But if we look at, let me see if I have it in here. Oh, yay, I do. So if we look at the track list, there is, let me check. There's one track title that also adds up to 125. That spiritual, that feeling of spiritual. Which one do you think it is? I'm going to let you all guess. I know you're probably going to guess it. What do you think it is? Which one? Which one do you think is the most spiritual? Or that has the most vibrations of giving you a spiritual experience? Good guess, Josh. But no. Good guess, but no. Yeah, we're going to talk about that number 11 here in a minute. Close? Of course, Judy, you would say 5. Oh, I love the guesses. I love the guesses. So, actually, Good Flirts is 125. Good Flirts is 125. It is giving the this feeling of spiritual this spiritual vibration. Exactly. Exactly. Isn't that cool? So we have this vibration of 125 that's just like flowing through here. It's flowing through here very strongly. The other thing, oh, Alex, either I think it's a combination. I do think Kendrick always gets advice from a numerologist and an astrologist because um, the timing of when albums are dropping and when things are done are very aligned astrologically. But then how things are done are very aligned vibrationally. But I also do think that it's just being very tapped into the universe. uh, yeah. Talking about all that booty does throw you off a little bit. Yes, Rumple. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. So speaking of good flirts, when we are looking at a track, what we look at, it was we look at the vibration of the name of that track. So we have 125 is the name of the track. And then we look at the features. So we have Kendrick Lamar, whose vibration for his name is 120. And then we have Momo Boyd. And if we again use our little code where it's A is 1 all the way to Z equals 26, Momo Boyd is 102. So something I want you to see is that with the features on this song, this is where also these vibration of spirituality, this very strong spiritual vibration is coming from. If we just take these two, where we look at 120 plus 102, we get 222. 222 is the numerical vibration of the phrase unconditional acceptance. Also of the phrase the opportunity. And when we add up 222, here's our 6 again. So then that 6 is connecting very strongly into the rest of the album. Also, just in case you wanted to know, vibrant numerals is 222 also. just if you wanted to know. Just if you wanted to know. But if we take that 222 and then add Baby Keem in there, and we add the name for the track itself. So let's move down here a little bit. So if we take the track itself of 125, we take Baby Keem's artist vibration, which is that 64, and then we put in the name vibrations of the two features on this track. Now we get 411. So with all of you that were picking the last song and 11, this is resonating that 11. So you were picking up the vibration right. It just was hidden. It was hidden. Yes. Yes, they are. Isn't that crazy, Judy? They're all through here. So we have this here. And look again. 4 plus 1 plus 1 is another 6. Here's this 6 again. So when I was drawing, oh yeah, that's right, Josh. 411 is for information. That's where you call to get information. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my goodness, that's great. But when I was drawing, where's that crazy drawing that I drew? There it is. When I was drawing this crazy drawing, and I was saying that it was like all of these vibrations are very strongly woven together, and it's coming from inside the album, but also these outside influences. We're seeing this as we're looking at these vibrations. This is what we're seeing. This is how we're seeing these vibrations weave together. and work together to give us this spiritual experience through these tracks. So let me get back over here. So pretty cool, right? This like is incredible. And it's rare. It's very rare to get a whole album where these vibrational ties are throughout. You can get a lot of these vibrational ties from artists that are being fully authentic, but in what I actually think it is that when people are in their most authentic um self, their most authentic form, their identity, and they are accepting all parts and pieces of themselves, that's where they have the most openness and connection to God, the universe, higher power. And then they're able to bring that to us. It's like they become a beacon for God's energy to just bring through their artistry on the earth. That's not a common thing in any kind of musical genre, in any kind of art form. It's not a usual thing to be able to do that. So that is a superpower for real, for real. Um, yes. Uh, yes, on deck. Yes. Well, what we talked about in here when it came out is how I was looking. So you saw how I drew. We'll just go back here for this album. How I drew it this way, where it was all like these vibrations all mixing together. When I was looking at the vibrations and experiencing the vibrations of um you know that other album, we talked about it where it was actually forming like this, where the core of it was empty. And because this core spot was empty, this is where it had to be filled. So it was like the substance, the core, was being filled outside of itself. Like the fans had to fill it, or past albums had to fill it because it was empty in the middle. Yeah, it was squishy. That was the best word I could find to describe it. And this is not very far from that. This is like thinking about the difference between a very soft metal that can be squished and moved. So like thinking about the difference between like aluminum foil, where you can change it into shapes. You can make swans. Did you ever get those like aluminum foil swans from those restaurants? I used to get those and think it was all fancy until I found out it wasn't. But anyway, but it's like when you don't have that core, now it can be molded. It's like aluminum foil versus like a diamond. That's super hard and dense. Those vibrations are coming together and being woven together so intricately, um, that it's presented as this diamond. It's given it exactly what it is. Here is your diamond. We got to clean off the coal that it was in, but here it is. I think that was funny. That was a good joke. Anyway, anyway. All right, let's go back over here and let's look at Let's look at some more of these vibrations. There's so much here. It's so crazy. All right. I'm going to paste this here and then I'm going to get some water. Yeah, no, my humor a little bit dry, but it's good. I get some good ones in there. Oh, really? That's actually pretty funny, Judy. We should look at that. So put that on our list for next week because what we can do, because we'll look at, I think I have one example here of what a sample does to the vibrations, how it adds to it and changes it. So we can look at that difference. We can look, yeah, look at it side by side, especially because we just looked at good flirts. Is interesting. Okay, so let's just look at the track list in general because the way that it's laid out is very important. So we have 11 tracks here. 11 is this vibration that we've been talking about a lot, where it's this first amplified vibration where you have these two ones that are coming together and it's amplifying this vibration of new energy. But what is happening in recent years is this 11 is becoming this vibration of division or duality. It's like these two sides are playing against each other or they're not able to figure out how to coexist. And so we would think that that could maybe be a bad thing because we have seen where if you have two discs of new music, so two ones, two new vibrations again, that they can bump heads and make it difficult to find synergy together. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we don't have that here. And why we don't have that here is because these two ends, um, so starting with no security and then ending with no blame, we're creating another portal here with the word no. So both of these tracks start with the word no. So we're using this no vibration. And no is going to be 14 plus 15, which is 29. So we're creating this portal here with this vibration of 29. And 29 is, when you add it up, 2 plus 9, it also gives you an 11. So there's not just one 11 here. There's not just one split. We're putting the 11 vibration on either end. And so now it's creating a portal. And when we have this kind of portal, now it's pushing through all the vibrations here in the middle. So it's amplifying and making these come through much stronger. So I think that's very cool. And then also, we're actually taking these 11s because the goal is always to take the 11 to the 2. So where 11 is the division, 2 is the end of division. It's bringing the two sides together. And what the stories that are being told in this album, what is happening is we actually are going through a storyline where we're starting where there's no security, and then we're learning all the lessons that needed to be learned in order to get to a point where there's no blame. So instead of going back and forth between, do these experiences hurt me or help me, it's okay that they are both. It's okay that these life experiences, and this is true for all of us, that we have to get to a point where we can understand and see that all of our experiences, no matter how traumatic, they both help and hurt us. And we have to find the pieces from both possibilities and bring them together so we can end the division and create something new. That's this too. So vibrationally, it's already laid out what the story is. It's already laid out vibrationally how this goes. And what's so interesting is right up to the last minute, this album had 12 tracks. One track was taken out right at the last minute because it was on the original track list and then it was removed. And its name was Tubi. And again, if we use our little code, Tubi adds up to 52. 52 is the numerical vibration of the word heart. And this is going to 7. So it's changing the vibration of the whole album by taking this out. But it actually is making this stronger. So that I don't think could be planned for. I think that's just the universe. That's just God right there. Because I was so confused why it had 11 tracks instead of 12, especially because we can tell that because of Kendrick Lamar's influence, that he was using what he had learned himself from, all the way from Section 80 all the way up to GNX to really impart that to Baby Keem. And GNX had 12 tracks on it. But this one ended up, and so it had 12 originally, and now it has 11. The other thing that it does vibrationally is it now gives a center point. So the center point now is, I am not a lyricist. And so now we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above this, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below. So now it's even structured very much like how a portal would be structured as well. And if we look at, so I did a lot of these calculations ahead of time for us because I knew it was going to be a lot and I didn't want it to slow us up. But do you want to guess what I am not a lyricist, we use our code, what it adds up to? It is a number we have been seeing a lot the last couple weeks. You want to know what that's at the center of this? This is great. Go ahead, guess. Good guesses, good guesses. All right, I'm going to wait just a couple more seconds for some guesses, and then I'll tell you. All right, Judy, you got it. 188. This adds up to 188. Bye, Judy. I'll see you over there in a little while. Anybody going over to watch Koala live, enjoy. I'll be over there as soon as we're done. So 188. Where we have seen this 188 is Saturn, Neptune. Saturn and Neptune add up to 188. On February 20th, we had a huge Saturn-Neptune conjunction that only happens every 36 to 37 years. Not only did we have this huge Saturn-Neptune conjunction, and this vibration is found right here at the core of this album, and it came out on the very same day, but this Saturn-Neptune conjunction was at 0 degrees Aries, which is the birth of identity. It's the point in astrology where it's birthing a new identity. I like your flaunt, Rumple. So at the core of this album is this vibration that's coming from the universe. Like how did, like, you can't tell me that Kendrick Lamar or anybody planned this shit. I mean, you could look at an astrologist and find key points to be able to do that, but this is huge, especially when you think about, so the last time we had a Saturn Neptune conjunction, it was in 1989, and it was in Capricorn. And during that time is when it was at the fall of the Berlin Wall. This is how huge this vibration is. To have this included in here is crazy. Crazy. Like, that's what's happening in our sky at the very same moment that this is coming out. So again, this spiritual feeling, this vibration of spirituality coming through here. Also, 88 has been coming up a lot. So let's look at this. I told you there's so much of this. I didn't know where to start. So 88 has been coming up a lot. When we add up 8 and 8, we get 16, which takes us to a 7. This 16 is the vibration of the tarot card, the Tower. This is giving us a warning that the Tower is preparing to fall. This is where you get warnings of the Tower falling. 88 is the numerical vibration of the word clarity and also vision. It also is the numerical vibration of some people that I will not even say their names. Um, and but we'll put them there. And I don't know if you could even see them, but we'll put them there. You could see them, and then I'll cover them up again because I don't know how to deal with that. But this vibration has been very strong. And so this 88 is giving warning that open your eyes and be clear that this is happening. This tower is coming to an end. This tower is going to fall. So you need to prepare for the fall. After the fall, so we go from 88 to now 188, where after the fall, new energy comes in. Something new comes in. New thoughts, new behaviors, a new world come into play when we get to this 188. This 188 adds up to 17, which is 8. And this 17 is the vibration of the star. It's where everything is in balance and included. This is similar to that vibration of the 2. So we're going here again. These vibrations are moving in a way where it's from 11 to 2. From this falling of a tower, new energy comes into play and a star is born. And here we have it, right here in the middle. And it's supported astrologically of what's happening in the skies above. Craziness. Craziness. I do want to look at let's also look at so the last thing that I'm going to look at, you think about what else you want me to look at. Because I have more stuff. I could give you all of the numbers, all of the vibrations for all of the tracks, all that stuff. Yeah, Josh, that's a very good point. That, yep, Kendrick Lamar has already been called the North Star. Isn't that crazy? Like, you can't plan this synchronicity. Like, all of these vibrational stories, you can't plan. Some of them, yes, but not like this. This is like the universe laid it out for us. So let's look at, let's go back to look at baby Keem. And we know that baby Keem's name vibration is that 64, which is a 10 and is a 1. So his energy and vibration resonates with that 1 energy in 188, that new energy that is a star being birthed. Also, this energy resonates with this year, where 2026 is a 10-1 year. So all of these vibrations are, it's crazy how they're coming together and so strongly and supporting each other in so many different ways. The other thing is, so baby Keem's birthday is October 22nd, 2000. Now we saw already this 222, but look, it's here in his birthday too. So here we have 222 again, which is that unconditional acceptance. It is that opportunity. Whoa. Why'd you do that? It is the vibration of Kendrick Lamar and Momo Boyd together on this as features for Good Flirts. So that's already in his core vibrations, just of who he is. So when he was born, that's already there. And then we also see, if we write this out, we have all of these zeros again, where zero is that vibration of universe or God or a higher power. And it's supporting this 222, but also because we have this here, that's the other thing. Here's another 10. I just noticed that. So another 10 here. But also with this 0 here, now we're getting a big, huge portal because these zeros are going to want to be near each other. And it's pushing forth this 222 vibration. And it's all in support of this very far left number, which again is the 1. Yes. Yes, exactly, Josh. Okay, Eva, see you there. Thanks for being here. So we're seeing this repeat of these vibrations, and these are baby Keem's core vibrations. They're the core vibrations of who he is that are found woven throughout. It's very, like, it's incredible to see and witness. If we get, so let's get his life path number. So to get his life path number, we take his year, which gives us 2. We add the month, and then we add the day. And this gives us 34. And so we see here that we have these 4 vibrations are here, both on the far right position of his artist name, as well as his life path number. This means that he is bringing a vibration to challenge the foundations, the way things are done, the systems, what everybody is standing on. And by examining those foundations, understanding those foundations well enough to build them, but also to break them, he can bring through growth in this 3 vibration, but also this comfort in the 6 vibration. But wait, there is more. I didn't know how we were going to get through all of this, and there's actually way more than this. So let's look at, if we take his 2 main vibrations. So we take his name vibration, and we add it to his life path number, which is that 34. Now we get 98. 98 adds up to 17. So here we have again that vibration of the star. Ah! Interestingly, also what vibrates at 98 is the movie title Sinners. And we know coming up in March is when Sinners is up for. Do you remember how many awards Sinners is has been nominated for? Anybody? Anybody? I like class participation. Like when we can talk with each other. Hi koala. Hi koala holics. I love you all too. Thanks for being here. So baby Keem's main vibrations add up to 98, which is the same as the movie title Sinners. Sinners was nominated for 16 different awards. And with 98, here again, we have this lesson that is trying to come through where we need to move from 16. We need to move from this falling tower so that we can get to the birth of a star. We have seen this 16 before the last couple weeks. Hi, Doc. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. With 97. We saw this 97 in a couple of different ways. So, I'm going to try and draw this triangle. I'm not going to go through all of it, but we have seen 97 3 times. And we're moving from 97 to 98. So we want to move from the 97 to 98. We have seen 97 is the artist named J. Cole. This is just funny to me. His artist name adds up to 52, I believe. I always have to check because I can't believe that like all of these vibrations are like coming in like this. No, his vibrations, his name vibration is 45. And then it's his life path number, which is 52. And this adds up to 97. So this is J. Cole's 97 here on this part of the triangle. Then we also have, if we look at oh my gosh. So if we look at Laubry's life path number, I usually try and put his proper name on this, but I can't do it. If we look at his life path number, so his life path number is 58. When we are looking at somebody's relationship or connection to somebody else, we add their life path numbers. So if we take Laubry's life path number and we look at the life path number of hip hop, which is 39. Here again is 97. So this part of the triangle is 97, represented by this relationship that Labrie has with hip hop. There is this 97 down here. So we saw that Boo Man equals 60. Now, if we add GEY to go from Boo Man to Boogie Man, this equals 97. And so here is Kendrick Lamar's representation here in 97. So this 97 is the vibration that we've been having. This 97 vibration is making room and giving way to 98. This is the passing of the vibration, the passing of the energy from Kendrick Lamar to Baby Keem. And I'll just remind us that Baby Keem's name is 64, and then his life path number is 34, which gives us this 98. This also sticks with the vibrational story of moving from the 16 of the tower, that the system, the way things have gone, the way things we've gotten used to, what we've been comfortable with, is changing, and it's going to now the star. We have seen this in other ways also. So we saw this where we saw it social politically and astrologically, and now we're seeing it here in hip hop. We also have a comet that is in our skies. So speaking of stars, we have a comet in our skies that includes the number 88. It's 88P Howell is the comet. So we even have in our skies, we have this 88, this 16 going to the 188 of Saturn-Neptune conjunction that we had on the 20th. And we're still in today to 17. So it's all over and through and everywhere. And Baby Keem and Baby Keem's album is directly aligned with all of it. And this does not happen. And you cannot plan this. Like, you could plan a lot of this, but you can't plan all of this. Okay, Eva. Isn't that crazy? These vibrations are insane. Insane. And so this is where you begin to see these higher connections, these interweavings of higher power and universe and earth and people actually coming together. So this is what this tapestry actually looked like. Yes, Josh, this is what we call the stars are perfectly aligned. Isn't that very cool? I love it. I love it all. And we started seeing this even with just the Boo Man 1 documentary, because that's where we started having these portals be open. And I mentioned yesterday, but I think it's worth mentioning again today, that teleportation. So teleporting like actually is just a movement of um energy from one place to another happens through portals. It's like all of these little portals are opening in a very particular sequence. And so then it's moving the energy from one space to another. Okay, this is not a rash, these are all portals. And so that's actually what is happening within this album. It's like this universe, God energy is being pulled down. All of these different portals are being opened up through the vibrations that are being used and the people that are a part of it. And it's pulling through and bringing it to us here on Earth. It's really crazy and cool at the same time and historical. And that's why it can feel that way, and also why it feels like that spiritual experience. Not just because we have the 125 vibration in there, but because of all of these portals that are opening up and amplifying these vibrations and drawing the energy directly from the universe, directly from God, and bringing it into our space. So anybody that is not in this hip hop space and not experiencing this is definitely missing out because these vibrations are insane. Okay. So, which are there any of these? Do you want to know what the vibrations are of all these tracks? Are there any tracks or lyrics you want me to look at specifically? Let me know. I'm gonna sit and wait. get my get my drink sip on. Get some water and let this energy settle if it can. Okay. Yes. Oh, thanks for being here. I didn't even notice that your name was different. Thank you for being here, your wellness. All right, let me move to open space for us and put our track list on here again. Okay, and so I'm going to mark these. So we want to look at the general, I'm just going to look at the general vibrations unless you let me know particular lyrics that you want me to pull out of these. So we'll look at the general vibrations of Circus Circus Freestyle. And we'll look at the general vibrations of No Blame. And I think if we're going to look at No Blame, we should look at it with No Security because those go together. Those are our album bookends that are creating our portal. So we can look at both of those. Any others? And get to my page of where I already did some of our calculations. Oh, here we go. Okay. And house money. Yep, we'll look at that too. All right. I think that'll give us a good amount. So, let's start with circus freestyle. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. I love doing this. I just had to say that out loud. This is so much fun. I was trying to like get done so that I could go and watch Koala, but I'm just gonna. I think I might have to watch the recording because I'm having too much fun. Um, and there's so much of these vibrations that we need to get through. Oh wow! Really? That's great. It is crazy, Judy, but it's fun. Oh no! Really? Oh no! Oh, did he get clipped? Oh, wait, what in the world? How did that happen? LTFM, how did it just like all of a sudden your message come back? Rumple, did you do that? Did you fix it? Oh, as soon as he started the album, oh, that sucks. Oh, well, hopefully he comes back. Okay. So I just saw, I want to come back here and make sure to mark these also. Birds and the bees, good flirt, sex appeal. Yes, yes. So I'm gonna put those in a different color because we can look at those together. Um, yes, birds and the bees, good flirts, and sex appeal. Absolutely have an inner story. This is just like how we looked at how these portals and inner portals create on themselves. Um, yeah, so we'll look at those three together. Oh, really? What in the world? Did this just happen? Give me a second. Let me go. I'm going to look. I'm gonna go. Oh yeah. 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 He would probably flag right from the very beginning just with the title. He should have used a different title. If he changes the title on the stream, then it won't be alerted as quickly. Okay, back over here. All right. So for circus, um, the first thing that we notice is that with this double word, so circus, we know that's a casino and how it relates in that way. Um, oh, it crashed. So it's not YouTube. It wow, the stream actually crashed. Oh. Too much energy. Too much vibrations coming through there. Because I'm sure there was a bunch of people that were coming in and wanting to hear his take on it. So hopefully he could get it back up. But he probably should change the name um, so that it's not flagged as quickly. Okay, anyway. So when we have a double vibration or triple vibration, that's the same. So we've already started talking about 11. Whenever you have the same vibration sitting right next to each other, it's an amplified vibration. So it's like having two speakers playing the same song. It's even at a low volume, it's not just louder, but you're getting more of that vibration. So here already, we're getting more of this vibration just by having this double name. And whether it's intentional or not, but a lot of times businesses will have this duplicate vibration in their name to amplify them, to help them get seen. It's actually a little marketing trick that some people use. So that's one thing to be aware of. But then, if we start looking at these vibrational layers, so if we use our little code where A equals 1 and Z goes all the way to 26, when we look at Circus, this vibrates at a 73, which again is another 10. So here's all this 10 energy, this 1 energy coming into this space. And so then if we put these two together, where we do 73 plus 73, now we get 146, which adds up, you guessed it, to an 11, 2. Okay, good. I'm glad he's back. Hopefully it works this time. With no issues. We'll send those good vibes over there. Probably needs some, he needs some of this 4 energy of stability. Stabilize that stream. So here again, we have this 11 going to 2, being a big part of this story. So we have this amplified vibration of 10. So this is coming through as like 10, 10. And that 10 has that vibration of 0, which is God, universe. So we're getting this double dose of God, universe energy. But also the 10, we're getting another dose of this 2026 to 10-1 energy. And then on top of that, we have baby Keem's vibration of 64 is going to be in there, which is another 10. So a lot of this God universe energy and this 1 energy of like, here's what's new. Here's what's new. It's adding that 1 to that 88 to get us from the tower that is falling to the star. So away from the catastrophe, rising above the catastrophe to the star. Another thing to notice here is that we have a mirror happening here. So baby Keem's vibration of 64, when it is sitting next to this vibration of 146 of Circus, we have 64 is a mirror image of 46. Both of these equal 10. And what's acting as a mirror is this one energy. So we have this reflection energy that is, again, creating another portal. And all of these tens, like crazy throughout here. All of these ones. Yeah, so many tens. Isn't that crazy? But this is why it feels like there's so much, like a big build up of this new energy. And so much of this new energy coming in to do things in a different way. So then, if we use our code again to get this last piece of the puzzle, freestyle adds up to 115. 115 is the numerical vibration of the phrase thank you. It's also the numerical vibration of the phrase love you. So not only do we have this 10 energy coming through very strong and heavy with Circus, but now it's also resonating with this energy of thank you, of love you, of showing gratitude and appreciation. So even if none of his lyrics say anything about any of this, but usually the lyrics do coincide pretty strongly with the vibrations of the name. And we could look at lyrics another time. But we're getting this very strong energy of 10, of God, of new, and then of thank you and love you. All of these energies that will come together and give us a feeling of a spiritual experience. So now we're getting back to that spiritual feeling, that 125. And if we take 115 plus a 10, we get 125, which would give us that spiritual vibration again. So if we do 146 plus our 115, then this adds up to 261. So here's another 1 energy, but these add up to 9. But what is ending? So this vibration, all of these vibrations here are working together to bring us to an ending. And I don't think it's the ending. It's the vibration of a shift. So it's contributing to the shift. What are we shifting from? Let me go down here so we have more room. So this track is giving us this vibration of 261 that's taking us to 9. So the end vibration is this 9. It's giving us an end or a shift. It very much feels like it's giving us a shift of energy. And what are we shifting from? It's our first step here is this 1 again. So this new energy is coming in. This new energy is coming in, and what it's doing, 26 is the numerical vibration of the word God. The gods that we create are idols. So the new energy is coming in and it's dethroning this God that we have created. It's ending and it's shifting that energy into all that 10 energy of new. So that's like if you're looking at a watch and you're like, oh, this is aesthetically pleasing. The aesthetic of the watch is all of the lyrics. It's all of like the lyricism, it's the beat, it's all of those things of how that watch looks like. This vibrational story is what is that watch doing on the inside? How is it keeping time and is it giving us the time that we need? So what we're looking at is the inner vibrational workings. It's this inner vibrational working. So as we're sitting and we're enjoying these tracks, we're actually getting these vibrations. We're getting these lessons. So that was a good one. All of these are good. All of these are good. Like this whole thing, it's this is miraculous. Like when you think of stuff that's where it's we have a lot of synchronicity and we have a lot of coincidence that just happens to us every day. But when things align this way and so from so many different areas of life where it's not just the vibrations of this album, but it's the vibrations of the people that are a part of it and of the universe and what we're seeing in the astrology, like that's something different. That's miraculous. That's miraculous. It can't be anything but. Because stuff doesn't align like that. That was a good choice. Good choice. Good choice. All right. So we looked at Circus Circus. Let's look at no security and no blame next. We'll look at those two together. So no security and no blame are our bookends. We'll start with black. So these are the album bookends. And so these are where we're getting that portal created, where no is 29. So that's that 11 energy that is trying to come together. And so it's creating this whirlpool motion with the vibrations. And it's actually amplifying the vibrations of the whole album because we have these on either end. And it's setting the foundation. So we saw that baby Keem has that 4, so 64 for his name and then 34 for his life path number. The first thing that always has to be established for him is this foundation or stability. And so these are setting up the stability of the story. It's setting up the foundation of the stories to be told on the album. It's also interesting that where stability is so important for his vibrations, and this first song is no security, no stability, like no foundation for bringing that security. So that's interesting. Then, if we use our little code book, where A is 1 all the way to Z is 26, security gives us, here, let me just redo it. Because I got so much written on this page. Let me just redo it. It doesn't take me but a second. Security is 120. And blame is 33. Now, we've talked about these already, both of these. 120, I mentioned, is the numerical vibration of the artist named Kendrick Lamar. So here is where we are feeling the influence of Kendrick Lamar, where we might say it feels like he should be on this song, or he's very much part of this song. But it's because of this word security here, that's bringing that vibration of his name. We also talked about 33, where 33, we didn't talk about it today. I think we talked about it yesterday. But 33, again, here is that 6. So another 6 energy of comfort. But 33 is the vibration that is associated with Jesus and his 33 years. The master teacher. This is the vibration of the master teacher. So we go through this album and we're learning about all of these lessons, these life experiences that are happening. And we get here at the end to No Blame, where now these lessons have become the master teacher. And really, we have a master teacher at both ends, because we have Kendrick Lamar here at the beginning, and now we have this master teacher vibration here at the end. So it is also a progression of maybe being taught by Kendrick Lamar, like having the influence of his vibration here, and getting to the point where now you are the master teacher because you've learned from your own lessons. That's very cool. That's a very cool story to be told. I don't know why this matters, but it feels like somebody wants to know. 29 is also the numerical vibration of the word black. So whenever we label something black in any sense, in any use of that word, it's also resonating at 29. So no security now becomes black security, and no blame becomes black blame. Woo! Whole lot of other additional vibrational stories there. So I guess that's why I needed to say it. We then can add these together. So, yeah, on a whole different level, right, on deck? So then if we do 29 plus the 120, we start here at 149, where this is 14, which is 5. So we're starting with a need to mix energies, because 14 is where we are mixing energies together. You see, we have the 4s here again. So that's a big vibration throughout this. But 14 is about mixing energies. It's like we have these energies that need to be together, but they're not coming together yet. So kind of the same thing as you're learning these lessons, but you haven't applied them or integrated them yet, because you have this mix. 14 is like this vibration of like oil and vinegar. You need both pieces to have a really good vinaigrette, but they don't blend together easily. You have to force them to be blended together. So we're starting at this place where a change is needed. That's this 5 of change. And the change is coming from mixing these energies. We also have the 14 here, and it's coming from an ending or a shift. So it's like the shift that we're feeling and we're seeing in hip hop, but also the ends or the shifts of what Baby Keem was experiencing in his life, and the story that he was telling in this song is about needing to end these patterns and behaviors and these thoughts that keep coming back around. It's ending the cycle. Generational curses are a cycle. So by ending this cycle, now these energies are able to start coming together. These lessons are beginning to be able to be learned so that change, true change, can happen. If we get down here and now we add together, oh my gosh, I've already got a colors. But if we add 29 and 33, now we get 62. So here we have another 6. And this goes to 8. 62 is the numerical vibration of the word shift. So where here we are needing an end or a shift of these cycles. We're needing to end these cycles so these energies could be able to mix and be able to bring about change. Now, at no blame, we're getting this shift. We're getting this 2 where we have ended division. And we're getting to this 6 of comfort. So we're finding a place in comfort by ending the division, by allowing this shift to happen, by ending those cycles, by ending the division that was created by those cycles, learning the lessons that needed to be learned. Now the shift can happen and a comfort zone can be created. Also, what happens is that then we get to this 8, which is new cycles. So now we're creating new cycles. We're creating new reap what you sow cycles. We're creating new karmic cycles. Generational curses are karmic cycles. So here at the beginning, we're talking about and we're seeing and feeling these vibrations of these cycles that need to end, so that these energies of what are the lessons, these new lessons around foundation, stability, and new energy can come together to actually bring true change, to create this shift. So now we're getting to, at the end, we get the shift and we get to create new cycles. Now we're breaking those generational curses and we're creating new cycles. And this was spoken about in the documentary as well. And I think it is a thread that kind of runs through this album, but also the documentary. Wow, I didn't expect all that. Good gracious. But let's also look at, let's add these together since we're looking at them together, because then we can see what the blending of this energy is. So if we do the 149 plus the 62, we get 211. So here again is that whole story of we have this division that's happening. We're ending the division with the 2, and it's getting us to a new place of stability. A new foundation is formed. Wow, that's a crazy one too. And all of that, not looking at any lyrics, just looking at the titles of the tracks and the vibrations that are coming through. Whoa, another good one. I'm gonna have to clip these. Another good one. All right, let's see. Oh, went too far. There we go. Okay, let's look at house money. And then we'll look at this whole story that's being told with birds and bees, good flirts, and sex appeal. And house money, I believe, it's house money is the one that has the secret Kendrick Lamar feature on it. So we know his energy's in there as a feature. But let's look at this. So, let's look at it in layers again. So we'll start with house. So again, if we're using A as 1 all the way to Z equals 26. Ew, that 2 did not look right. There we go. House is going to be 8 plus 15 plus 21 plus 19 plus 5. So house is 68, which is 14. So here we are again. Yeah, I like house money too. Okay, so that's your favorite, Josh? Yeah, I could see that. And so this vibration of house, it is challenging the cycles that are already in place. This is that reap what you sow energy. It's bringing back around this energy of reap what you sow. Like, this is karmic energy coming back and smacking you in the face. And we have this 6 energy here again of comfort. But here, with it being paired with this 8, this is more feeling like it's this karmic energy that's coming back. You're having to face this energy that you put out there that you thought was gone. But now you're facing it again, and it's disrupting your comfort. It's saying, oh, are you really comfortable with this just being out there? Oh, okay. You're comfortable with this? Okay. And it's producing this mix of energies that are, again, examining these foundations of how things are done And it's interesting that this is from the word house, because now we're looking at the foundation, um, and bringing in this new energy so that change can happen. So we have a lot of this same energy, the same vibrational story coming up again. Here's the reap what you sow energy, and it's challenging your comfort so that a change can happen. So let's look at money. So money would be 13 plus 15 plus 14 plus 5 plus 25. And so money is 72, which again is that 9 of needing to end cycles. But 72 is also the numerical vibration of the name hip hop. So we actually have the vibration of hip hop here. And this is, by having money here, we're actually also talking about the house, hip hop's house. So we could put hip hop here and have the same vibrations. Here we have the 2 again. So needing to end the division and take action to bring on the shift or the end. That's really cool. Let's look at if we add these together. So if we do 68 plus the 72, we get 140. So, same story again. We have this story of 14, of this mix of energies that's challenging the foundation, the stability of things. But here, this is being enhanced by this vibration of God, universe, higher power. And we know that we have Kendrick Lamar hidden on here. So if we take the title, House Money, what color should I use? Here we go. So 140, and we add in the 120 vibration for Kendrick Lamar. Now we get 260. And in my video, both for general and for hip hop in 2026, we have this huge God, so big G God, this higher power energy, which is 0, versus the gods that we create, which is 26. So we have this same thing here, where this God universe energy is enhancing and highlighting the gods that we have created. But this also adds up again to an 8. So having to face that karmic energy, that reap what you sow energy. So those are the vibrations that are running through like the inner workings of this track. We can also, real quick, add Baby Keem on here too. His vibrations are throughout this, but we can do 260 plus Baby Keem's 64. and we get 324, which is that 9 again. So that energy of a shift or an end. This is why also we keep having this feeling that this is a representation of Kendrick Lamar kind of passing that torch of shifting the energy. Not saying that he's never going to again be around, but that he's shifting the energy from what he's done. He's taking what he has learned and shifting it over to baby Keem. Cool, right? I love this stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's so late. I did not intend to be here this long. All right. I know I probably need to go eat because I did not eat before because I didn't know I was going to be here this long. But let me see. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. Let's look at Birds and the Bees, Good Flirts, and Sex Appeal together as this progressive story. And then LTFM. I'm gonna look here because I think what we have left is yours. Yeah, I need to go eat. Yeah. So, um, LTFM, send me these dates and numbers and words. Just send them to me in Discord, and you can add as much as you want on. If there's other ones that you want me to look at, just send those to me. So then I can make sure that you get that information. But I can go and eat. Oh my gosh. I went too far. Okay. So we're going to look at birds and bees, good flirts, and sex appeal. I'm trying to decide. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. Because I don't know yet if we want to. Oh, good. Didn't know it was still in my clipboard, but there it is. Perfect. So we'll start looking at it this way so we can get all three of these. So what we're looking at is we're looking at what story is being told between birds and the bees, good flirts, and sex appeal. Okay, so the first thing that I will mention, whenever we see in the titles where they don't use the full word, like here, is this called the amp? What is this? The ampersand? What is this? What is this called? Anybody remember? The and symbol? I don't know. But when this is used here, we don't skip over the word and. Because when we say it, we say birds and the bees. We still include that vibration even if it's not written out. Same thing like when we have the $ here for casino or the $ here for sex appeal. The vibration is still coming through as an S. And so then that's how we count that. So I wanted to make sure to point that out. So when I look at the vibrations, Oh, it is ampersand? How did I remember that? That's so weird. Probably just shows how old I am. I probably dated myself. Oh well. But we still say it, and so we need to count it there. So when we look at the vibration of birds and the bees, I'm including A, N, and D in here. So I'm going to go to my notes because I think for these we can look at them um, just as each song as a layer. So birds and the bees is 135, which is another 9. So again, this vibration of shift and ending. So needing to shift the energy and end the energy. We know that good flirts is 125, which here again we have this 8 energy. And then sex appeal, get a different color here. Sex appeal is 99, which adds up to 18 and is a 9. So, what we should see, the first thing we should see is that we are creating another portal. So, this storyline is creating another portal. We're starting with a 9 and we're ending with a 9. And so we have these 2 9 vibrations wanting to be close to each other, creating this portal, and it's bringing forth this 8 energy of karma, of reap what you sow. So the whole storyline is about the shift of energy, the ending of energies. And when you are in relationship with people, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, if it's a stranger for 2 seconds or it's a relationship for a lifetime, you are having this exchange of energies. You're having an exchange of vibration. And so this is depicting that. It's showing how these 2 9s are having this dance of vibration, and it's bringing forth these vibrations of karma. Isn't that crazy? The other thing that is like standing out very much is we already know that this 125 is the numerical vibration of the word spiritual. Spiritual. That don't look right. Let me try that again. Oh my gosh. Do I have to like erase every little bit? Yep. Sure do. All right. Let's try that again. Spiritual. Okay. So we have this spiritual energy right here. But what we also have here is 99 is the numerical vibration of the word ascension, where ascension is the raising of vibration. It's the raising of your energy, and usually you do that in a spiritual way. So where you're having this base kind of experience here at Birds and the Bees, then you start having a spiritual experience at Good Flirts, and now it's bringing you to a point of ascension. What that ascension is, that increase of energy, you can judge for yourself. But this is the vibrational and storyline that's happening here. These are how these vibrations are coming together to tell us this bigger story. This is very interesting, very cool. Um, also, let's add these together. So if we do 135 plus 125 plus 99. All right, and I'm getting something else too that we need to understand. Okay, that makes sense. We need to understand what's coming through is that we need to understand this progression. We need to look at it as a progression. Of course. Of course. But we need to look at it as, all right, we're going from 135 to 125. So we're going from this birds and the bees to this good flirts. And so when we add 135 plus 125, oh my gosh, you can't make this shit up. 260. So 260 again, where we have this God energy right in the same vibration as the gods we create energy, bringing us again to another 8. Oh my gosh. Okay. But then we also need to look at this combination. And so then if we do 125, so here we're looking at this flow, this progression of vibration around what do you idolize? What do you consider God? What do you consider a higher power versus a power that you create yourself? That you're, because one you don't have control over, the other you do. And in my 2026 videos, I talk about that a lot more. But 125 plus 99, now we're getting 224, which is another 8. And look, this is 88. So 8 and 8. And we already had that whole story of moving from 88 to 188. So this is giving us warning of towers that could fall. This progression. Which makes sense. You're building a tower that if it doesn't have a strong foundation, it could absolutely fall. Oh my gosh, this is so interesting. The other thing that's coming out is that this 124 is a combination of 100 plus 124. Now, when I talked about 125 being spiritual, it also is a I love you, which means that 124 is the numerical vibration of the phrase I love you. And then 100 is the numerical vibration of the word towards. So this is towards I love you. Moving towards I love you. That's the progression that is showing here. Okay. Who knew? I knew it was interwoven and that there was a lot of vibrations in here, but I did not see all of this coming. Not at all. And so then when we add these all together, so 135 plus 125 plus 99, we get 3. Oh, let me get a different color. Let me get a different color, maybe. Here we go. We get 359. And 359, when we add this together, we get 17. So here's that 17 story again. We have another 8 here, and we also have this 17 of the star. So we again have the story embedded within this vibration of moving from the 16 of the tower to the 17 of the star. Wow, that's really cool. That's actually amazing. Okay, so I guess there's one more thing for this. Love when the universe is like, wait, there's more, don't go yet. So if we take these two progressions that we have, so 260 plus the 224, this gives us 484. So we get another portal around an 8. And 44, so these two fours together and trying to come together, 44 is the vibration of hope, of the word hope, but also of the word faith. So by these fours of stability coming together, now we can get this new energy, the cycles of 8. This reap what you sow, or karmic energy. Well, okay. I hear you. Also, this 484 adds up to 16 as well. Woo-wee. My goodness. I knew this was going to be a long stream, but I didn't know it was going to be this long. Okay, so this was amazing, and there's so much more to look at. So we can probably continue to look at these songs and tracks. So as you're listening to this album and you're experiencing this album, bring back on a Saturday, bring back different tracks you want to look at, different lyrics you want to look at. But we've seen where we have these same stories that are being told, that are coming out over and over again. But it's always fun to see how they're interwoven and they come out more. So definitely bring more. I do want to spin our wheel before we go. But this was amazing. Thank you so much for being here with me. This was really good. Wow. And all those likes. I don't think I've ever had that many likes. So love that. All right, you ready? Let's spin the wheel. Let me get to our wheel. So, for anybody that hasn't been here before, we have this random number wheel that we spin every week to give us a random number or vibration that we will look for throughout the week. This is to help us start learning how to pay attention to the energy and the vibrations that are around us, that we're interacting with, that are impacting us, and that we are impacting. Because we need to get to, it's really important, we need to get to a place where we are aware of energy and vibration and our own energy and vibration, so we can start being very intentional about how we are using our energy and interacting with other vibration and energy around us. So this is just good practice, and it's fun to see what the universe picks for our numbers. So it'll be interesting today. All right, so here we go. I'm going to spin the wheel. Woohoo! I love this part. This part makes me happy. Woohoo! Ah, interesting. So 459. 459. Yeah, you did. I noticed that, Josh. Thank you very much. I did notice that. We had all of the wonderful Mars energy up in the chat today. Thank you so much. I did notice that. It is great too. So, our the number that we're looking for is this 4. Oh my gosh, did I forget it already? I don't remember. Is it 450? Let me see. I could probably see it here. Oh yeah, 459. That's what I thought. Because I was trying to remember if we could use it as a time or not, and we can. So 459, which, haha, funny universe, adds up to 18, 9. So we are already learning about this progression of 16 to 17. And then what comes after 17 is 18. So I guess that's the way the universe is taking us in our learning. But for this 459, you could see it as a time. You could also see it just as this number. That's what we want to be looking out for. Of like, when does this vibration of 459 catch your eye? And make sure that we're starting to be aware of these vibrations that are around us. The story that, well, the vibrational story that 459 is telling us is that there is an end or a shift to a cycle or to energy that is prepping for a change to happen. So once this ends or this energy shifts, now this change can happen, and it is creating a new stable place. So whatever is here on this far left side is the last step in this progression. And so the steps before it are trying to get there. So we're trying to get to this stability, this stable place, this new foundation. Because on this new foundation, new cycles can be created with new energy. So this is new energy, which is the 1, and new cycles, which is the 8. So cycles are anything around our habits, our ways of doing things, our behaviors, our thinking, like if we have the same thinking pattern going around. And so we need an end to a cycle. So this could just even be ending a thought pattern, or ending a behavior, ending a habit, to be able to bring a change that's going to give you more stability or foundation. So then new cycles, new behaviors, new thoughts can come into the space, and that solidifies this end or shift. So that's the vibrational story that this number of 159 is telling. And so we want to look for the number itself, the time, but also any of this theme of this story. And when you see this number, or any number, so like if you see 222 or 333, or you're seeing a repeating number over and over again, you want to make sure that you're documenting the context in which you saw it, because that's how you start getting not only the bigger vibrational story, but that's also how you begin to learn how you connect to that vibration, and you get the messages that are meant from you, for you specifically, from that vibration. So, who were you talking to? Where were you? What were you thinking about? What were you doing? Those are all the contextual clues and patterns that you want to start paying attention to. Alrighty, I'm gonna go eat. Finally. But this was amazing. Thank you so much for being here. This was great. This was so much fun. And certainly keep bringing back things that you're noticing in the hip hop. That's the only time where the time is set. That's always around 9 p.m. Hit it on your way out. And I will see you all very soon. Have a wonderful week. Bye.